Well, hey, wild woman, how are you? How are you? Jules from the Sassy Senior CEO coming to you today to just share a few things and give you a little bit of an update on. I know that when I started this channel, it's warm out here. My goal was to be able to share with you the things I'm doing along the way to building a business online. There are many different ways you can build a business online, and I went through some of those in my last video. But I wanted to just report out on some things and give you some additional information. So I'm gonna stop this recording and check and see if the sound is okay, because I don't have a microphone yet and hooked up, and I'm sitting outside. So we'll see if it is going to work okay. I hope it does, because it's kind of a nice day here today. It had been very warm and humid, and today is a little cooler. It was very nice and cool this morning. I have been trying to get a blue jay out of my house that flew into the house this morning when I had the back door open, because it was so nice. So I'm hoping that I've been able to scoot it out. I scooted it down from the vaulted ceiling and it flew off somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where it went. So anyway, let me check the sound and I'll be back with you. So the sound on my end was good, but now the air conditioner has kicked on and I have somebody doing some yard work a couple of houses down. So hopefully it will still be okay. I don't want to have my videos be really super long. I don't know about you, but I know YouTube is really loving the long videos right now, like 1 hour plus videos. I do not have time for that. I do not have time for those. I don't have time to watch them. Even when I see them on my my homepage, if I see it that it's over about 34 minutes, I just skip it. Like there's nothing that they're gonna say that I really want to listen through all that. So that's why I'm trying to keep my videos a little shorter. Probably it's my ADHD and the fact that my brain just is moving so quick to all the things. I'm not sure. Anyway, here's what I just wanted to share with you, a few things today. So when I have been dabbling in online income for a few years now, sort of like trying a few things, just seeing what I like, what interests me, and where my skills are. Now, I worked my whole life as a social worker. I have a master's in social work, and I've always worked with people in some capacity. Most of my career was spent working in drug rehabs, or the largest bulk of it was working in child protective services, which was, I loved the families that I worked with and tried to assist, but the job itself was brutal. It was brutal. And anyway, but I always really wanted to go into business. Even when I was in high school, I remember I wanted to go into business, but when you're in high school, I didn't care about my grades all that much. And so when my, college placement scores came, they weren't all that fabulous. So I just defaulted to something that I knew I could do, because I have always been, even as a kid, like volunteered to help organizations and help people and things like that. So I sort of defaulted to that, type of a job, which is how I ended up with a degree in psychology and then my master's in social work. But I still always loved business, and I have always read about business, been interested in businesses, how they work, how they operate, marketing, all of that is super interesting to me. So having said all of that, here's what I have done over the last few years to sort of try and figure out a way to, build a business. I wanted to have my name. I wanted to have an LLC, because I have several different businesses I really would like to do over time. And so I wanted to establish an LLC that I could have as the umbrella, like my umbrella that's opened up here. I wanted to have the LLC that's the umbrella, and then I can have other businesses all underneath it, all together. And so I did the LLC, and I got that. I used a pretty famous legal assistance website online called LegalZoom. They will talk you into buying a bunch of extra stuff. I mean, I'm still paying them for some things that I don't really think I need to be paying them for. And I just haven't sat down and figured out how to change that, although I'm going to very soon. But they do help you get your business registered with the government and get you your EIN number, your employer ID number. So that's like the first thing that I did. And then once I had my EIN number, I bought a website domain. So I have that. I call it Summer Day Marketplace because I sort of envision having some kind of an online store to start with that is just an online shop, similar to if you were on a vacation or you went to your local like farmer's market or flea market, or like if you were on vacation and went to a market and you wanted to buy fun, cute things. So that's why I named it Summer Day Marketplace, because I just envisioned that on a nice summer day like today, I would love to go and do that and visit a market and find cool stuff. So I have my domain name that I bought through GoDaddy. Then I linked up my domain name to an account on Shopify. And Shopify is an online sales channels that hosts your store. Okay, so it's your online store hosted by Shopify. There are other places to do that as well. That's just what I've been using. And I will put links to all these things I have named down in the description. I don't have affiliate links for GoDaddy at this point or for LegalZoom. I don't even know if they do that, but I do have an affiliate link for Shopify. Just so you know, full disclosure, if you were to use that link to open up your own Shopify store or to start that process, I may or may not get a small commission. It doesn't change the price to you. It's all the same. You can set up your Shopify account on some different levels. So, there's, like a entry level, sort of a middle level, and then there's like the Big Mac Daddy level. So feel free, go check those out more yourself. I don't have all the details on that right here handy with me today. So once I had my domain, I went to my local circuit, like county clerk's office, and I registered my business, doing business as. So you want to register a DBA. So it's Julie Donaldson Brands is what my LLC is. Then underneath that, I have Summer Day Marketplace. And so I went to my local county clerk's office and registered that. I think they published it in the newspaper for 2 or 3 weeks. It was about $30 to do that. So I registered it doing business as Julie Donaldson Brands, doing business as Summer Day Marketplace. Now, if I in the future then open other types of businesses not related to Summer Day Marketplace, I will also have to file a doing business as on those as well. Does that make sense? So you have your umbrella and then you have all your businesses, and you want a DBA for every one that is different. Excuse me. So, there's a lot I can put on my DBA. For Summer Day Marketplace, I will be able to have whatever I want in my Shopify store, whether that is print on demand, whether that is offering printables, whether that is having things made and then me housing them, or having somebody else house them, but selling physical products that are made in advance. Oh Lord, see, this is what happens when you're in your 50s. The hot flashes, no matter what. So I don't want to go a lot more into that, but all of those steps sound really complicated and a little confusing at first, but I just sort of did it step by step by step. Once I had the DBA and I had filed, and and of course they give you copies of your paperwork. I went to the bank and I opened up a checking or banking account for Julie Donaldson Brands DBA Summer Day Marketplace. They will want to see the paperwork that you have filed the DBA, so that it's, they'll want to see that paperwork. They'll want to see your registration paperwork through the EIN, and all of that to be like it's a real thing. None of these were super expensive, and they didn't take all that long to do. 2 or 3 weeks, like within a month. You can buy a domain today. Like, you could just pause this and go buy a domain name and come right back, and you'll have that little thing ready to go. And then you can just do all the other things from there. A lot of business owners maybe want to file their LLC as some other made-up name. Like, you can have your LLC anything. Like, you can register it as anything. A lot of people, though, do it under their name or some variation of their name, maybe their initials or something. But it could just be something like Pepperoni Pizza LLC or something. I mean, I don't know. Okay. So then after I had my DBA and my EIN, okay, and all of that, I went to my local Department of Revenue for my state. And I just walked in and asked them because I didn't know what else to do. And I thought, well, I'll just stop in there and ask. And this was right during the early days of the pandemic when I did this part, because it's, like I said, it's been a few years, but I haven't really, anyway, that's a whole other story. But so I just went in and asked them in person, and they were kind enough to help me figure out my next step, because I wanted to order products from a wholesaler, and you have to have an EIN number to sign up with the wholesalers, so that they know you're buying them for a business and you're not, well, anyway, so that's what you need. That you want that EIN, and you want that certificate. Here it's called a certificate of registration or something like that. You want that because when you go to the wholesaler, they will sell you the products that you are going to put in your shop, but they will not charge you sales tax on them, because you're a reseller of those products. So that's why you want that certificate through your state tax place, Department of Revenue, or whatever it's called in your state. So they helped me fill out that paperwork. I'm not sure if there was a fee for that or not. If there was, it wasn't all that much, because I didn't have a lot of extra money, and I don't recall being like, oh no, that it cost any significant amount of money. There may have been some kind of filing fee of, $50 or whatever dollars, I don't know. But, if you're wanting to open a business, you're going to have to put in some money. You can do that. You can do it pretty inexpensively, but there's still going to be something, right? Now, if you want to go all the way, you can buy a truckload. You can buy containers, shipping containers that come across the ocean and get loaded onto railroad cars. You can buy entire containers full of merchandise, entire semi-truckloads full of merchandise, if you want, and store it at your house and ship it yourself. Some people do that. I don't have the space for that. I don't have the extra money to do that right now. No matter how much I would love the products, I'm not going to go into some kind of credit debt to do that. So I would buy a lot of there's a wholesale website called Faire, F-A-I-R-E. Faire will allow you to purchase products in smaller quantities. Each vendor who has products for sale on Faire or on Jane or some of these other websites, they will sometimes have a minimum amount that they want you to order, but some of the minimums are very low. So you can buy 10 or 20 or, $100 worth or whatever. And then they will tell you what the suggested retail price is of the product. They'll tell you how much it costs to you, and then they will tell you how much, they would suggest you sell it for. I had experimented with some products, and I didn't get my Shopify set up. The hard thing about Shopify is that you have to drive traffic to your Shopify website. So you have to do that through ads or through lots of social media. And that is different than a platform like Etsy. On Etsy or on Amazon, they do the advertising. You can pay for advertising on Etsy. Airplane. You can pay on Etsy to advertise, to have your shop bumped up in the searches, but for Shopify, you have to drive your traffic there, and that is the challenging part that I found. But there are a variety of places that you can also list your products, depending on how you want to do it. This might need to be a whole other video in and of itself, because you can sign up and apply to be a fulfilled by Amazon seller. So when you go to the Amazon, when you're looking something up on Amazon, and if it says FBA, that means fulfilled by Amazon. That means that you have shipped your products to an Amazon warehouse facility, and they will take care of all the shipping and everything for you. The FBA stores pop up quicker in the search on Amazon than do the places that ship their own products. You can apply to be on Michael's. The craft store Michael's has a marketplace that you can look at being a part of. Walmart, you can apply to be a part of Walmart's online platform, where they basically resource out products, but it just makes their store bigger. And that's also the problem with Walmart. Have you searched on Walmart lately? You'll get 23,000 products, and you're like, even if you very specifically type in exactly what you're wanting to find, that'll still pop up thousands of things that are not that. That's why I quit going online at Walmart. I'm like, forget it. I'm done with Walmart. And for some other reasons, I'm done with Walmart, but that's just one of them. But that might need to be its own video, because otherwise we're already getting too long. But if you'd watched the previous video about some ways you can earn money online, and having an online shop is interesting to you, this is sort of how I did mine. Am I saying that's the only way or the only correct way? No, there's probably an easier way. I have ADHD. I have a tendency to do things the difficult way. So there's probably a much simpler way. This is what I did, and I wanted to be transparent about the steps that I am taking as I go. I want to leave you, before I sign off, with a book recommendation or a couple of books. I don't have my thing with me. The author is Rachel Rodgers, Rodgers, I believe. Rachel Rodgers. Her original book, which is how I got to know of her, was called We Should All Be Millionaires. And that's available on Audible. And she has a companion, How to Plan Like a Millionaire, on Audible. That's an Audible only. And she has now another book called Millionaire Action Plan. I think that's correct. I will put those things down in the description so you can go look them up. Again, I don't have any affiliate codes for those or anything, but I will just put down what the titles are so that you can go and find them. They are great, and she just really breaks down. Because listen, if you're Gen X and you're Boomer and you're retired or about to retire, and we don't know what's coming in the future with our with our pensions, with our Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Let's look at some ways we can figure out how to earn a little bit of extra money for ourselves so that we don't end up being one of those older folks that can't live on the small amount of money that we are being told we're going to need or have to have left. You've worked too hard and too long in your life, and you're too smart to end up in that position. So go and check those books out. Listen to the Audible there's a free Audible, and then there's this new one that I think it was on sale. It was maybe $10. But her original book is very good, and they all work together and the book goes deeper into some of these other things. So check those things out, and I'm gonna go see if that bird is still in my house, because it's got to go outside. It's been hours. That poor bird has been trapped and doesn't know how to get out, and I feel bad for the thing. Plus he's beating up my window, and I'm afraid he's gonna break it. So have a good one. I'm gonna talk to you soon. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. Leave me a comment down below what kind of business you think you might want to start, or what you think you would want to maybe sell or do online. I would love to talk to you more about it, because girl, I always have ideas.